Welcome to the 1 Minute Apologist. We interview the world's leading apologists to provide credible answers to curious questions. A lot of talk about Back to the Future right now with the Chicago Cubs.
October 21st, 2015 will be the date in the film that Marty McFly goes into the future and visits his future self. So that's right here. We're in it. We're October 2015. We're right here.
That's pretty cool. I remember like when, Prince, you remember his song, what is it? We're going to party like it's 1999
That's
or
right.
something. And then 1999 showed up and now we're here in 2015. Well, hey, what can we learn about God's existence from Back to the Future?
Well, what I find interesting is when we talk with people who are atheists, those who doubt God's existence, there's a lot of parallels that I see how they project God and maybe how Back to the Future projected the future. Two pieces of evidence that I can offer, two ideas, are the way Back to the Future looked at flying cars and fax machines. Both of them played prominently in the second installment. Flying cars, for example, a lot of people have lamented that it's 2015, where's my flying car, right? But what they do is they underestimate the complexity of the flying car. Now think about what it takes to actually have a flying car. You're not navigating in 2 dimensions, you're navigating in 3, okay? Which means it's just infinitely more complex. It's not like everybody can fly up and down as well as left and right, because if you start drifting, you can drift sideways. Also, what happens if you have mechanical difficulties? 2-dimensional car, you pull off to the side of the road. 3-dimensional space, you fall.
You crash.
Right, big difference. So while people say, where's my flying car? It should be, they underestimate the complexity. Similarly, a lot of people who are atheists underestimate really what God's holiness is. And they underestimate, they say, if God is so powerful, why doesn't he just get rid of all the earthquakes? Well, earthquakes serve a purpose. Plate tectonics actually help provide for the life on the planet. Well, God can just do anything. And they really underestimate the complex nature of God's creation, who God is, and his holiness, and the need for us as sinners to be redeemed to a holy God. Now, flip that around and look at something else that Back to the Future got wrong. Fax machines, okay? In Back to the Future 2, Marty McFly gets fired in 2015 and he has a fax machine in every room, and they all spit out his, right, you're Marty, you're fired kind of thing. We look around that today and we laugh at the idea of fax machines. Oh my gosh, how could you even imagine that in 2015? We have the internet, we have email, we do have instant communication, but the producers never saw that coming. Similarly, people who doubt God overestimate their own worth and overestimate, or they project their current situation upon the future. So I hear a lot of guys saying that God is this vindictive old man, right? Richard Dawkins, the most evil, maniacal person to ever live on the planet. Now it's interesting that Dawkins was abused by his father as a child. And a lot of atheists will project their earthly father's experience, their experience with their earthly father, upon the holy God in the future. But that's just as wrong as projecting the idea that a fax machine will be in every room in Back to the Future. You're missing the boat. You're getting the whole picture wrong. So by assuming that God is just some giant principal or giant diehard wishing to kill all of your fun is just as wrong as assuming that there's going to be a fax machine in every room. So there's 2 ideas that you can look at Back to the Future and see how the existence of God and Back to the Future tells us that we can get things, we can either underestimate who God is and what it really takes, like flying cars, or we can overestimate and project our current situation upon who God should be and misjudge him by what we see in the current realm.